Murray or Jokic for tonight's game?
Yeah, AG I think is going to be able to go, and Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic I don't think are going to be able to go.
Okay.
But we'll confirm that here shortly.
You spoke recently about the three-point defense this season, and when you look at last season's three-point defense compared to this season's three-point difference, what are the glaring differences there?
Just the, percentage and more importantly, just the volume of makes that we're giving up. Last year we were, I think, second in threes allowed, made threes allowed per game, and that number has taken a ginormous step backwards this year. And we watched film from that Washington game. We gave up 19, and so many of them are preventable. A lot of them are in transition, off turnovers, but then we don't talk in transition, so we don't get matched up. And then just off breakdowns, like a lot of discipline. I thought we played hard against Washington, but we just have to play a lot smarter and to be a lot more disciplined. And obviously tonight in this building against a team that is playing some of the best basketball in the NBA, you always have to be really on point with the details when you play Golden State, because if you don't, they take full advantage of it. All right, thanks everybody.
Talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about the difference, the Warriors with Jimmy. Why has he made such a big difference? What is the specifics of what he's doing?
Well, you have a guy that is a competitor. He's a winner. He has an edge. He's put teams on his back before, and he comes here and games he's played, they're 14-1, and in that same time, they have the number 5 offense, number 2 defense. And from afar, I'm not here every day, but just watching them on film, what's really impressive about what Jimmy's done is that he's come into a program that has had a lot of success in the past. And he's just come in here and he's being Jimmy Butler. He's doing the dirty work. I'm really impressed with his playmaking. I think averaging 6 assists per game since he's been here in Golden State. But their defense, has just been forcing turnovers at a high rate. And they're scoring almost 24, 25 points a night off those turnovers. So that's not just Jimmy, that's all the other guys as well. But, you have to give, Mike Dunleavy, their front office credit. They approached that trade deadline. They didn't like where they were at, and they made a big move. Andrew Wiggins is a hell of a player. But they went out and got a guy, and you look at the results, they speak for themselves.
As we come to the end of the season, looking back at all the losses and the struggles that this team has had, how much of that would you contribute to overthinking, and what do you do to help them overcome that, the players?
Overthinking? I think we need more thinking. I don't know. That's an interesting question. It's been an up and down year, but we're still in third place in the Western Conference. With 14 games to go against a very difficult schedule. So we just have to find a way to stay together and try to bring the best version of ourselves each and every night. And when you lose a tough game, and you just got to stay together. I think that's the biggest challenge we have right now is no matter what happens, these last 14, let's try to get healthy, let's stay together. And if we can do that, we'll put ourselves in a good situation.
To follow up on Jimmy Butler, how different is game planning against him when he's the primary creator, like he was in the finals with the Heat, versus now when he's the second option?
Yeah, he's second option, but he still has the ball in his hands a ton. Obviously the way Steve is using him, almost as a backup point guard to Steph. And Steph is so dangerous off the ball, so Draymond and Jimmy will have the ball a ton when Steph is on the floor. But you're still game planning against a guy that can score in the post, can facilitate, is not afraid to make and take big shots, and takes on the challenge of guarding the other team's best player each and every night. So he's fit in here very nicely, and he's obviously had a huge impact on helping this team be 14-1 their last 15 games.
One more here.
We got 2 more questions. Sam and Hope.
Go ahead, Sam. I can hear you.
Hello, Michael. Nice to see you, sir. You and Joker been through these marathons so many times now, and I know he's banged up. today, but in terms of the level he's been playing at, what he can withstand mentally, physically, all the above, how are you feeling here in mid-March about the long road in terms of the goals of this team and making sure he's in a good place when the playoffs begin?
Yeah, I mean, Nikola is probably the least of my worries, just because I have been with him for 10 years. Excuse me. And that, he's a guy that battles through so many things. One of the toughest guys I've ever been around, mentally and physically. So I have no worries with Nikola Jokic as we approach this stretch run with 14 games to go and what we have in front of us. It's just making sure I got to help all the other guys. Jamal's been through it, Aaron's been through it. But we are banged up, tough schedule. Everybody that we're playing is right in front of us or right behind us. And so there's a lot at stake every single night, but we just got to try to take it one game at a time and focus internally. How can we be better? Identify the problems. Let's try to address those problems so we can be better and a more consistent team moving forward.
Just a quick follow. I know you talked about MVP the other day, but in terms of your view of his play this year, is this the best you feel like he's ever played?
Yeah. I mean, and not only because he has said that, and obviously he's probably his own toughest critic, but the numbers say it. I mean, he's on pace to do things that no one's ever done. We've for the last couple of years we keep on hearing first guy since Wilt Chamberlain, like he's in that category. Then this year he's doing things that no one's ever done. I mean, if he finishes up top 3 in points, rebounds, assists, and steals, that's, I mean, again, and the very impressive history of this great game. No one's ever done that. He had a 30-20-20 game. No one's ever done that. He's on pace to average a triple-double. Only 2 other guys have ever done that. So I think he's definitely playing the best basketball of a very brilliant and impressive career.
Michael, what's up, man?
Good to see you, Om.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Appreciate that.
If you allow me to ask one more Butler question. Everybody makes this big deal of playoff Jimmy. You faced him in the NBA Finals. Is there something to playoff Jimmy? Is there something different than him in the playoffs than when you see him in the regular season?
Well, I think since day one when Jimmy arrived in the Bay, he's been playoff Jimmy. He couldn't wait and they couldn't wait. When you go to a new team and a new surroundings and a new culture, he's come in from day one and I think just been Jimmy Butler and the best version of Jimmy Butler. And, we always talk about playoff Jamal and playoff Jimmy Butler. Some guys rise in the playoffs. They just kind of live for that moment. Some shy away from it. And obviously with Jimmy and his impressive resume and everything he's done in Miami and elsewhere. But to me, I don't think Jimmy Butler has been waiting for the playoffs. He's putting this team in a great position by being playoff Jimmy right now. And that's a big reason that they're 14-1 since he's been here. Thanks, everybody.